So, for this video, I really wanted to talk about something that's been bothering me for basically 3 years now. That being the live action Lion King's hyenas. And now I have an excuse to talk about it, so let's do that. But first, I really want to talk about why this is important to me personally. When I was of the age of 13, I think, I got cast in a Lion King musical as one of the main hyenas, Shinzi. And I really liked playing her. She's sassy, funny, and it was really fun just trying to find my inner hyena. Yes, our teeth and ambitions are bared. Be prepared. Ever since those performances, I've had a special place in my heart and on my shirt for these three idiots. So, naturally, when I watched the live action remake for the first and frankly only time, I was very disappointed.
I'm not really the biggest fan of the live action remake. It's fine, just not great. I feel like a lot of the scenes and moments from the movie were done better in the original. The animation is very impressive, but that's really the only 100% genuine compliment I can give it. Seeing online reviews, most people seem to share similar feelings, unless you're IndieWire. Anyway, now let's talk about hyenas. So, you know the two guy hyenas from the original, Bonsai and Ed? Bonsai being the slightly grumpy one, and Ed being the one that won't stop laughing all the time. Yeah, they don't exist anymore. They've been replaced by these two random hyenas named Kimari and Azizi. Their personalities are that one of them exists, I guess, and the other has a problem with personal space. Because that's so much more interesting than constant maniacal laughing. By the way, I completely forgot that either of these were a thing. I actually had to look up what their personalities were. Now, what makes this all really weird, at least to me, is the fact that they kept Shenzi. And I kind of wish they hadn't because that ain't my girl. That ain't my Shenzi. In the original, Shenzi was silly and goofy. You could tell she was the leader and slightly more serious than the others, but she still acted like any other hyena. In the remake, she's really serious and slightly violent, which is a really cool concept. But it doesn't really work when all of the other hyenas aren't serious. I will admit that it did lead to a really cool fight with Nala near the end of the movie. Though, side tangent, this scene was the only one that made me feel anything. Because I was worried they were going to kill Shenzi. Because of my attachment to the original. If I hadn't gotten cast as Shenzi, I probably would have left that theater feeling absolutely nothing. Anyway, let's move on to story changes now. The biggest change to the plot, at least in my opinion, is that the hyenas have never previously known Scar. In the original, it's heavily implied that they've met him before and are actually kind of friends with him. And that's what makes the scene where Scar blames it all on the hyenas work because it feels like a genuine betrayal of the trust he worked so hard to gain so that he could kill his brother. That sounds very weird out of context. In this one, he just kind of randomly shows up after the hyenas tried to kill his nephew. Which, side note, that was very weirdly elaborate, despite the fact the only reason they're chasing them is because they showed up. Anyway, Scar's like, hey, want to help me kill my brother and my nephew? I'll give you some land. And they're like, no. And then Scar, quote unquote, sang. Though in reality, it was more like him giving a very emotional speech while the writers played background music. And then the hyenas were like, fine, we're in. I'm a little sad they cut out the best song. I mean, it's a very cool scene, and the actor is doing great, but that was like the best song in the whole movie. Anyway, so then when Scar blames all of the hyenas, it feels more like, why did we agree to have you as a business partner? And now you and your business are dead. Don't be like Scar. Don't become business partners with an entire army of creatures that can kill you. Better yet, don't betray an entire army of creatures that can kill you, because they probably will. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Alright, now let's complain about character designs. This is going to be the most intentionally short section of the video. I don't really like the designs of the characters. They all look the exact same for the sake of realism. Besides the rip ear, I can't really tell Kimari and Azizi apart, even if I knew which one was which. I can barely tell them apart from the background hyenas. Meanwhile, in the original animated one, you can tell the main three in the animated movie apart just from their faces. Honestly, the same could be said about 90% of the characters in the movies. The animated versions gave all the characters so much more personality. I'm looking at you, live-action Pumbaa, random warthog. In conclusion, I find the animated hyenas to be just so much more expressive, more memorable, and a lot more entertaining than these new versions. Though honestly, that's just genuinely my opinion over the movie. Go watch the animated Lion King. Okay, bye! Oh, just don't randomly... wait, stop. Side note, that was very... No. Want to help me kill my brother and his nephew? Wait. Oh, yes, would you like to help me kill my son? No.